Hello and welcome back to my water rails map. Since last time I've debuggered the science tracks. So I've got a fairly standard setup here now feeding my my research pods. I've got a pair of reds stacked back to back here which are pulling off the middle and far belt, and then an inserter here which is pulling off the near belt. And then I've got essentially the mirror image the other side. So I've got one pulling off the far belt here and one off the middle belt and then two off the near belt. And then I've underground the north and south belts so that they're overground whenever there's a blue inserter by them. And then there's plenty of room to stick in the red inserter pair. So this thing of stacking two red inserters, one in front of the other, kind of takes advantage of the fact that it doesn't matter where you put an item within a building, it counts as inside. So because these have a total reach of 3 squares, is it? Yeah, 3 squares. It can take from the one beyond 3 and put into the one above 3. So if you stack 2 of them, this one's putting the potion into the middle of the fab, and everything sort of works out. Okay, so that's a quick, simple way to deal with 3 belts of science. Obviously, once you get the space science, you need a different solution. Frankly, by the time I do that, I'm intending to have a bot-fed model. So the belt last time you saw it was some kind of sushi hell death. What I've done is when I put in the gold science, I've merged that with the military somewhat unorthodoxly, and the belt that I had accidentally sushied, I've now done some belt merge magic so that all of the blue potions end up on the outside and all of the purple potions, pink potions, end up on the inside. Because of how I laid these out, there's 2 belts worth of the cyan blue potion things. So I had to play a little bit of belt gamery to make it all line up. And, you know, we've ended up with a bit of spaghetti here, which quite frankly is unnecessary if I'd planned this properly. But those are the kind of things that happen when you build things incrementally. So we've now got the whole thing being made. The final gold science thing is down here. We have a whole load of module 1 makers, gold science, and copper cables. I went for the option of having 1 copper cable machine feeding each gold science machine. I could have belted this stuff, but you know, machines are cheap. These make in 14 seconds and these make in 15. I kind of want 1 a second as the output. I know there's an extra multiple in there because the fabs run at a particular speed, but the ratios are roughly right. What I've done is put down 15 module makers and I've offset them so that the first gold science gets 2 chances to grab a module. And that kind of allows the timings to work out, or at least I assume it allows the timings to work out, so that whenever this needs a module, it can grab one from either of these machines, and it has a good chance of being kept going all the time. So anyway, there we are. So that's gold science. Obviously, to get gold science working, we needed blue circuits and red circuits and green circuits and batteries, which meant getting our sulfuric acid production. So I did pretty much what I said I would do. I threaded some sulfur onto the bus. Let's run up here quickly. Yep, so I threaded the sulfur down past the plastic. This is by no way ratioed or anything, but it makes enough sulfur to keep things going. It's massively backed up at the moment. Okay, sorry, let's just get the next research going. So, mining productivity may as well. Oh, it doesn't like that. It wants me to, sorry, mining productivity. Research. Okay, so we're making sulfur far too much. We're making far too much plastic. These lines are backed up. we are not making anything like enough iron. The steel is being made at the rate it's being consumed near enough. Whereas the iron, so I'm splitting off some iron lanes to make steel, but these are just, they're going through as fast as I could probably add another 2 or 3 smelting stacks there. Let's zoom in. Okay. The issue is that, quite frankly, these trains are unloading as quickly as they can unload, and I've always got a train stacked up ready to unload, and it's a combination of the mine not having that many miners on it, and this being a 2-carriage station. There's just no way to fill more than 3 belts with iron ore. It's not even saturating 3 lanes. I have landfill now, you may see here, so I'm considering filling in some of these ponds. That might allow me to grow out to stations with 4 wagons. But to be honest, this patch of iron up here, right, it could probably take 4 wagons if you look. About half the miners are active. So they're active to about halfway down, but it's pushing it really. It's at the limits of what this could service. So yeah, the other thing I could do is add a second station here, loading up another 2-wagon train, and I could add a second iron unloading here. I could add a second iron unloading station here. Normally I wouldn't bother with any of these shenanigans, but on this map, as we went through before, there is just no other iron showing up on the map. So that is my patch. Normally for Rails worlds, what I do is I set up outposts to make everything. So I'd have a steel outpost, I would have an iron plates outpost, I would have a green, red and blue circuits, and they would all be fairly self-contained. I would look around for patches of copper ore by iron ore to make circuits, for example. But this map just doesn't have any resources, so that's not an option. Anyway, this is where I'm at. So I've got all the research going. There's not much iron coming in, but there is some. The lack of iron is why I don't really have very much blue. Look at this iron track. It's not even, they're trying, bless them. But yeah. So I think really I need to get out and explore. Now I'm not going to be able to get out and explore until I have lasers and until I have robots. So what I thought I would do is set up my robot making and all the other things that go with logistics, of logistics chests and so on and so on. And to do that, I thought it would be entertaining to try and make a system which can bootstrap. So rather than running in lines, which then I have to rip up later, I thought it would be entertaining to get to a solution where I do a minimum amount of by hand building, and then the rest of the site builds itself. So what we're going to do now is save this game, flip into version 15 in sandbox, make a little make everything area, then blueprint that, dump the blueprint in here, and then see if we can get the whole thing to pretty much build itself with a little bit of handcrafting and love. I've never tried this before, so let's see how it works. I should probably save the game first, shouldn't I? Save, quit. There we are. Okay. So, here we are with Factorio 15. And we are going to load sandbox and maximize. Okay. So this is our sandbox world. It has a bunch of common items in provider chests. There's no construction bots loaded in here, so the processes don't start. But basically everything is ready to go to build stuff. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is build a fairly simple, making everything to do with bots area. Now I'm aware there's some new items in version 16 to do with bots, but let's not worry about that. Okay, so what we would kind of like to do is start off with the things you absolutely have to have. So we need drone ports, and because we're dealing with bot construction and potentially this is going to be beaconed later, I'm going to use stack inserters. I know a lot of these things could be done with slow inserters. I never work out which, and then I find out that I've accidentally bottlenecked things. So there you are. So these are all magic chests down here. They're not what I want. I want these straightforward one. Okay, so a passive provider chest and a requester chest. And let's put down that tier 3 fab once more with no recipe in it. Okay. And make a new blueprint. So that's our blank. Okay, so start off with roboports. So that's going to request the things for roboports, gears, steel, and red circuits. And with our blueprint, we can now stamp down some extra ones. Rather unimaginatively, I'm just going to run these out in a line. Okay, so what else do we want? Well, that needs gears, so let's make a gear maker gear. Okay, so that needs iron plates. There we are. So to set these, you probably know already, but it's shift right click on the item and then left click on the box, and that sets the box to have a request which matches what the machine is making. In version 16, they set the request number nicely. Anyway, I'll just have to live with this for now. So that required gears and red circuits and steel. I have steel and red circuits on my bus, so that's not a problem. Okay, so the next thing I would like to make is some boxes. So I need, well, we may as well make all 4. Okay. So that's requesting circuits and a steel chest. That's circuits and a steel chest. Circuits and a steel chest. Circuits and a steel chest. Okay, so we're going to need to pull circuits, both red and green, off the bus. We're going to need some steel chests. We make a lot of chests, so I think we will probably have 2 steel chest machines. So I shift right click to copy the machine configuration like before, and then you can shift left click onto a machine and that copies the recipe over. Similarly, I can right click and left click on here to copy the request over. Okay, so that gives us roboports, it gives us all our boxes. What next? Well, we want bots, so we should probably make some bots. Okay, so that's those and those. What does this require? A robot frame and greens, and this requires a robot frame and reds. And so it sounds like we need robot frames. These build in half a second. And these I think are also, yeah, they're half a second. Okay, so that's our basic stuff we need. What else? So I'm going to leave a room for beacons here. Not that we're going to be making beacons, but well, we may as well actually. Let's add a beacon making machine. Anyway, all right. So this is this machine here is going to make beacons, which is hidden away there. That's it. Okay. And beacons require circuits. So some copper cable. Let's add a copper cable making machine. I'm not really ratioing this stuff because it's about getting things started. Once this is all up and running, I will have a big search around my world until I find some resources, and we will start doing outposts. Okay, so that's asking for copper. So then we needed robot chassis. They're an intermediate, I think. Yes, there they are. What do they require? Engines, batteries, steel and green. So we've got green on the bus, we've got steel on the bus, we've got batteries on the bus, and we've got electric engines on the bus. So that's fine. Everything there can be acquired. And there's the request set. So the issue here is it takes 20 seconds to make one of these. Okay. And it takes half a second to make one of those. So if I really, really wanted to keep these machines busy, I would need 40 frame makers. Now that's just starting to get a bit insane. It would end up with really quite a large fragment of my factory dedicated to making robot frames. I don't think I'm going to bother. However, I could do 10, for example. Or 5 or something. So this is going to be the rate limiting thing for scaling up bots. 20 seconds. So I don't 20 seconds running, that would be 3 bots a minute. That's really not an acceptable scale up. At some point, obviously, I will have a dedicated bot making area, but that's not now. Anyway, so I think what I'll do is if we just make a blank blueprint and copy this. What do you think is a good number? So 20 every 20 seconds. So that's every 10 seconds. Is that every 5 seconds? Okay, that's probably all right, isn't it? It'll do for now. Just out of interest, what's the spacing here for? So if I put down a roboport there and there, how much space do I have before I run out of? Okay, so about that. That's roughly the logistics width. What do these require? Electric engines, batteries, plates. So that's about it, really, isn't it? So I guess I could fill in the remaining space with these frame makers. I will probably find out that it's not quite enough, or that I don't have enough resource to keep these things fed, but fair enough. I'm going to leave one gap because I believe there's a new logistics chest type, which I haven't tried yet. So I'm going to leave a blank. I'll put the machine in, but I won't feed it. I think that's everything we need for our drone making area. So let's make a blueprint of that. And what should we call this? Skynet, I think, is traditional. And let's set the icon to drones. Oh, and we've kind of forgotten something. So this is all nicely laid out. What we're missing is the ability to inject drones into our setup. So what we need is a requester chest. May as well put it here, and an inserter So this is going to request one stack of logistics drones. And then we're going to set a wire from here to the drone port. And if you look at the drone port, you can read logistics networks content, so you can find out what's currently around what could be requested, or robot stats. What I want to do here is read the robot stats, because I kind of want to be injecting logistics bots when there aren't enough of them. So the available logistics bots is on signal X. And so I'm going to set this inserter to be enabled when signal X is less than 200. So from my experience, if you have fewer than 200 logistics bots, even though it's bigger than 0, there's usually not enough bots. There's usually outstanding orders which aren't being serviced because there aren't available bots. Okay, and then we'll do something similar here. So let's have a and a wire. And why do we do this on separate drone ports? Right, so if we open up the drone port, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 slots for roosting drones. And occasionally a roboport will just get full of roosting drones just because of an accident of where things are picked up and dropped off. If you, for example, have your roboport entirely full of construction bots and you're trying to inject new logistics bots into the network, it can't insert them because the roboport is full. You lessen the chances of this happening if you use 2 roboports. Okay, so this is going to request 1 stack of construction bots. And this is for our central site. I'm not expecting really there to be a lot of building going on. Anyway, available construction bots. If the available construction bots falls below 50, I want to insert some. So Z was the signal for available construction bots. So if it's less than 50. Okay, so that is our Skynet. So we're making gears and cables because we need them. We're making robot frames. We're making beacons because beacons are cool and I'm not making them anywhere else. And that's it. So let's do that again. So clear that, take a blueprint, call it Skynet, and then set the icon. Oh, the only other thing, sorry, I forgot. I'm only making tier 2 fabs so far. So maybe I should add a tier 3 fab maker in here because that's kind of what's going to get the whole thing bootstrapped. Okay, so this machine, let's sacrifice this. Reset this thing I should sort of show you. Right, tier 3 fab. So this requires level 1 speed modules and level 2 assemblers. That's not a problem. I'm making level 2 assemblers, and for some of the science we're making tier 1 speed modules. So I reset the recipe by using this recycling icon here. For the first few weeks I was playing the game, whenever I wanted to reset a recipe I ended up deleting the fab and laying it down again. But anyway, that's how you reset it. Okay, let's try once more. So this is our blueprint. Call it Skynet. Set the icon to drone and drone. Yep, that looks right, doesn't it? Let's lay it down just to check that it laid us down correctly. Awesome. Okay, that looks about right to me. So I've been designing this in the version 15 sandbox. I'm going to need it in the version 16 game. So what I'm going to do is export to string and then press copy. Hopefully that will now be on my clipboard. Right, if I tab through, I can play, I can load the game Water Rails. Then I can go to the blueprint library, import string, Control V, import. Oh, brilliant. There we are. Well, that made me happy. So I think I'm just going to set it down here. There's no point setting it down anywhere complicated. And I kind of want to leave room for beacons. There we are. That's laid down. So, what is stopping us getting going? Okay, so we have no drone ports, we have no construction bots, we have no logistics bots, we have no tier 3 fabrication machines, we have no requester chests, we have no provider chests. Let's see if we can bootstrap this all up. Okay, so the first thing I think is to make a drone port. So what do we need for a drone port? It requires steel, gears, and red circuits. Okay, let's see if there's a nice place where there's a pool of red circuits sat around. Oh, there's a few here. Okay, well, let's eat all of those. Okay, so I have some red circuits. Then let's see if I can find somewhere with some steel. Oh, and some gears. Brilliant. Okay, so I can make a robot port. And have I made it? Oh, my inventory is full. Okay, I'll have some steel lying around. I don't need the copper cable. Does that give me room to put the robot? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Fingers crossed, that's done what it needed to do. Okay, so we need to power this up. There's going to be a generic issue here that I designed this in free play and now need power. So I'm just going to run this along. I think I can, yeah, that would be right, wouldn't it? Okay. I probably should have put this in the original blueprint, but never mind. So there's an overlap of 1 on these power poles, and that makes everything work. It's also enough to catch any beacons you add later. There we are. So what we're missing is a bridge from this to the main power system. Looks like we can get one here. There we are. So fingers crossed that is now powering up. Awesome. So what's the next thing we need? We probably need a construction bot. So for a construction bot, we need a robot frame and some electric circuits. Luckily, we have some electric circuits here. Right, and we needed a flying robot frame. That needs batteries, if I remember correctly. All right, here are some batteries. Let's grab some batteries. Let's have a look at the recipe for that. So it needs, electric engine units. Cool. Well, we happen to have a load of these just lying around because, well, it was required by research. Who'd have thought? So let's make a construction bot and a logistics bot. Cool. Then it looks like we need to do this research to get the remaining chests. Luckily it's rattling through. So let's make some provider chests. I think we're going to need to provide various things to get this going. So we're going to need straight away some tier 2 constructors, which are up top somewhere, and some tier 1 speed modules, and I think that would be enough to get us going, making the fabs so that this area fills itself in. Okay, so let's build some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. So those are provider chests. We're going to need a requester chest, but I can't do that until the logistics system has trained. Right. What else do I need? So I've got some green, red, and blue I don't need. Some engines. I'm making some bots. Oh, we're going to need some stack inserters. So I'll put a provider chest on that. It's complaining that it can't put the item it's made into my inventory. We're going to move a wall into trash. There we are. There's the construction bot. So add it there. So it really wants to make something now. Oh, it's picked up some wood and it can't put it anywhere. So I'm going to make a steel chest, and to do that I need steel. So let's make a chest. In a minute this will all rattle through. Right, get rid of some steel. There's a machine down here that needs some steel. There you are. And I need to get rid of another slot of something. Let's move some gears into trash. Okay, that's it. So we need some storage because it needs to put that bit of wood somewhere. Our logistics bot, we made a single logistics bot. Let's put that in. Okay, so that's now trying to empty my inventory of all my trash, which is lovely of it. What I want to do now is manually set up the provider chest for this machine here. And I'm going to manually construct one tier 3 fab. Okay, so over here somewhere we have some tier 1 modules. Okay, and I think now I should be able to make a tier 3 assembler. Let's make several of them. And I also probably want to have a provider chest for these things so that they can be found. Let's just skip over to the other side here. Have an inserter into a provider chest and make this powered. Great, so that's now grabbing those. What research shall I do next? Well, I've got all the things I think I need. Since I'm killing things still, I'm going to do some killing things training. Okay, now this is not within a network, so I need to make a drone port manually. And I can see myself doing a bit of this. So I'm short of steel. I have the steel in trash, that's all right. And what else am I short of? Gear wheels. I have 41 gear wheels in my inventory. I'm never going to use yellow ammo. So let's see if I can find some more gear wheels somewhere. Okay, so I probably have it now. Junk a wall. There we are. Okay, so I've got quite a lot of leeway about where I place this. It just needs to be within that orange zone. And let's put it down there. And add a big pole by it because, you know, big poles never hurt, do they? Okay, so that's there, and that doesn't quite link up. So I'm going to add another, see if I can build another drone port. It's the gear wheels I'm out of. Let's carry on eating gear wheels. So this isn't the quickest way to do things. 42, 43, 44, 45. There we are. Okay. So now I should be able to take this drone port and it bridges these two drone networks. I'm going to put it down here. I've been slightly unusual for me. I've been a little bit more neat than normal. Look, that construction bot. Oh, that wasn't the construction bot. That was logistics bot. Right, there we are. Okay, so I've set that down. Give it a big pole. There we are. There we are. Wonderful. So that's now powered. That should have bridged the network between the tier 1 modules and here. I made a few tier 3 fabs. Here we are. So we need to make fabs. That's the first thing. And so I'll place down the inserters myself, and we need a requester chest. So let's make a requester chest. Check that it's got the request which was in the blueprint. Wonderful. So what else does it need? It needs assembling machine 2. And the assembling machine 2s are way up the other end of the factory. So let's see if we can find them. Up we go. Yeah, they're over here. Okay, so let's plop that down. So that's now a provider chest, and it's not within Roboport range. So do I need to make a new Roboport? Yes, and it requires steel and gears. Luckily, we are sat in the middle of a cornucopia of steel and gears. Let's grab some steel, and I need some gears. There's a nice lump of gears here. Okay, make one of those. So I normally would not do anything like this quantity of handcrafting, but this is kind of a fun exercise in bootstrapping. Okay, so the orange needs to cover the chest. Now I think that covers the chest. If I move it out a bit further, it also covers other interesting things. So there. That seems like a good place. And I don't yet have personal construction bots, so there's nothing I can really do to make life easier that way. Okay, and we now need gears, steel, and advanced circuits to make the next Roboport. Let's eat some circuits. Eat some steel. And eat some gears. And to make the next one, I need more gears. Let's eat some gears. Okay, let's make some more Roboports. In retrospect, it probably would have been more sensible to make Roboports on the bus, but then I wouldn't have had the nice Skynet area, would I, that was making all this stuff for me. Okay, so I can bridge these two networks with a single Roboport down here. These wouldn't bridge it, so I think I need to bridge it up here somewhere. And there's a sort of artistic balance to bridging it out here somewhere. Let's see if I can find a good place. There are times when it's useful to do everything very geometrically. Roboports, for infrastructure, I kind of agree it should be geometric, but for things like this where you're just trying to get coverage, I tend to just slap them down wherever they need to be. Okay, so we have our single poor logistics drone. Where is that? So the logistics drone is off doing things, hopefully. Is it filling in any requests? I wish there was a way to find the open logistics requests. So it reckons there are 0 logistics bots active in this area. Or maybe it means that logistics is flying around, I'm not sure. I think I might make another logistics drone by hand just to guarantee. Okay. The other thing is we're going to need the green inserters. So I'm going to slap down a provided chest on the green inserters. Where are they? They're over here. And luckily they're within the logistics area I set. Okay, the logistics bot I made, if you just drop them, as I understand it, they then try and roost in a nearby drone port. Let's see what this one does. Oh, it's done a job. How wonderful. Let's see what... Let's check that it does actually drop it off where it's meant to be. Oh, both the logistics bots seem to be trying to fill this up with tier 1... Yeah, there we are, tier 1 modules. Okay, so maybe in a minute they will load it up with some... Right, let's power these up because there you are. Okay, so what next? We obviously need to have drone ports made, but we've got a minimum skeleton of drone ports now. I think the next thing is that we need to convince it to make requester and provider chests, and to do that we need to be making iron chests. So for that we need to set down a provider and a requester for one of the iron chest machines. The requester machine... Oh, obviously I set this down before certain things have become available in the training. So for example, I hadn't got effects and I hadn't got some of the chests. Right, is this effects? Effects transmission. Right. And I've got a feeling now that if you lay down a blueprint over the top of a blueprint, yeah, it fills in the missing things. That's kind of cool. Right. So I need to make some blue chests, and I'm short on green circuits of all things. Yoink. So let's make some requester chests. May as well make 4 because I can. And I'm short of steel to make some more requester chests. Sorry, provider chests. There we are, some steel. Let's make some provider chests. I'm not normally this kind of a rabid handcrafting machine, but this is kind of a fun way to do things, isn't it? Right, so we need to request there. We need to request there, and we need to do some providing. Oh, and I've run out of space to store things. I think for now I'm just going to make a little box and throw some things in. Actually, thinking about it, I have a perfectly good box down here for storing things in. Right, so that's freed me up some inventory, and I can start throwing things that I really am not interested in there. Okay, so all the yellow belts can go. Awesome. So we are set up for that. We're set up for that. We're set up for that. Now, this is requesting steel, and we don't currently have steel in a requester chest. I think the thing to do is to split off here and that's kind of a rude way to do it because it's going into the line of the bricks if I ever wanted to do that. Okay. So let's take that back one. There we are. So I think I'm going to just grab into a provider, make one. Okay, there we are. Into a provider. Got stuck on some. There we go. Okay. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed I got that round the wrong way. Right, I really don't want to suck up the entire world in steel, so I'm just going to pull off 2 stacks of steel. Okay, so there's a construction bot now doing something. Let's follow it and watch what it does. I've got high hopes. They all travel so slow because I've not done any of the proper speed or capacity stuff. Okay, so we've picked up a tier 2 fab, which is great, and we've picked up a green inserter. So the tier 2 fab was picked up by a logistics bot. That will be fed into the tier 3 machine. And the green inserter is going to end up where? Where it goes, nobody knows. So these things all get filled in fairly randomly. There's really no rhyme or reason in it as far as I can tell. So it will just be a game of who wins, basically. Right, there's some steel going into a steel chest. It happens to be one on a machine, which I want it to be in. So we're waiting for this to actually... Oh, it's made some tier 3 makers. So at some point the construction bot will notice that and place it. That's really cool. Okay. What else do we need? So this system needs steel. It's got steel. It needs batteries. So let's put in a splitter for batteries and do essentially the same thing. We're going to take out one stack of batteries. And again, I put it around the wrong way. Okay. So one stack of batteries. We've got batteries, steel, green circuits. That was another one, wasn't it? And so I'd like to take out green circuits. Let's take them out here. So into a provider again. The reason you do providers rather than storage chests is that providers have the lowest priority. So if there's any green circuits in storage, as in they've been recycled or dumped out of my trash, they'll get pulled out from first. So it will deal with the already made equipment before it deals with something which would ultimately result in new stuff being made. So that's quite a nice way to do things. Right, we need some red circuits. We're starting to run a bit low on space, but let's persist with this anyway. So I think I might move this power pole down one and maybe put one over here. Whoops. There to keep things joined up. All right, let's take that out. Those of you who haven't noticed already, if your hand has got something, there empty and you hold over an item and press Q, if you have one of those in your inventory, it picks it up. So I can do Q there. I have to press Q to clear my inventory and then Q again to pick up a new item. If you don't have it in your inventory, I'm afraid Q doesn't work, which is annoying and frustrating, and involves me swearing quite a lot sometimes. But that's just the way life is, apparently. Okay, let's take off a line of copper, because we need copper for some of these things. Okay. There we are. I tend to get into the reflex of pressing Q after every time I press something, and that's not ideal because quite often you really don't want to cancel what's in your hand, but it becomes a bit of a reflex. Okay, and we'll pull off some iron into a box. Let's limit the box to 1 stack. Okay, and power it up. There we go. This is not within drone range, so let's drop down a drone port to fix that. Where's a good place to put one? I've made a bit of a patchwork quilt of drones, apparently. It looks like everything here overlaps. Let's put it there. Okay. Cool. So we have steel plates, we have copper, red and green circuits, iron plates, batteries. I'm not sure if there's anything else we actually require, to be honest. So that's another inserted. Oh, wires. We need green wire. There we are. Because we're using green wires to control the inserting of drones into the network. So let's go up, see if we can find where green wire is being made in the MAL. Just to repeat, this is a really minimal MAL. This was the things that I thought would be needed to make things work. As it turns out, I didn't actually need the logistics thing, the combinator things here. I probably could have not made the combinators in the MAL. They seem to, in practice, be more of an endgame thing once you're doing clever stuff. I know people use them for controlling oil processing, but to be honest, you know, the level of oil processing to just get research working doesn't require that stuff. Okay, let's see if I can find a place to put this big pole. Come on, stop fucking around. Alright, let's do it with a little pole. Fair enough. Little pole had more reach than the big pole, apparently. There's a life lesson for you. Okay, let's run back. Okay. So this is being very slowly built out. Oh, we've got a fabrication machine ready to make these things. So we needed electric engines, batteries, steel, and green for that. Let's check we have all these things in the logistics network. So we have batteries, we have steel, we have green, we need engines. There's a good place to pull off engines. Almost like I'd thought about it before it happened. Okay, so provider and 1 stack. Okay, our research had finished, which is why the bus had backed up. Portable fusion reactor, because I really, really want to move over to personal construction zones soon. Let's just make some lights. I've been very remiss about lighting this site because it's been a personal project, really. I know I've been videoing it, but I've been not paying much attention to that, to be honest. Right, let's put a light down here. I've got lights up the other end to make things, but let's just hand make the couple I need here. Okay, there's some lights. Ooh, red. Apparently something's getting damaged. Oh dear, that's not very good. Okay. I think I may have to actually fix this. So, where is my car? Let's ask my map where my car is. Nope, can't find it. That's a very long way to travel. Right, they did kill the remaining bugs, but there seem to be a lot of them. Okay, I'm gonna take a save of this game and carry on recording. But if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, I will go back to that save and run up north and shore up those defenses. Where is my car? Oh, there it is. Right. So if you'll forgive me, this is going to build itself out while we're going up north. Luckily, that isn't within build range of the bots currently, so that's not going to get accidentally built. Do I have ammo? Yeah, I have plenty of ammo here. All right, let's go up and fix up that defense. You can see I've got the rubble of all my past boundaries lying around. It's because I don't have construction drones flying around everywhere, so for now it's not material I need to recycle, so I'm not bothering to do it. Alright, which border was it? I think it was this one here, so let's go over there. Driving around. So there's so much desert around here, and then full of these dead trees which I keep driving into. At some point I'll clear them all out, but again that's a job best done with drones. You can hit them with grenades, but the grenades are kind of better for dense woodland. They're not so good for sparse woodland, and they're certainly no good when you have electric poles lying around. Okay, so let's put lots of ammo in this box, because I have lots of ammo. And, whoops. Okay, let's go completely overboard with what we have here. Okay, is everything working? No, there's not quite. So let's take all these. That power cable's fine. I'm going to take all the other power cables up and relay them, because I think there's some gaps in the power supply. Okay, so if you drop it over the top of a power cable and then just run, then it drops them down wherever they're needed to cover everything, except I've found it doesn't always work in some complicated situations with loads of items all overlapping, but it pretty much works. Okay, they've had a bit of a chew on here. Again, I normally don't bother with much repair work until it's construction bots which are doing the repairing. One of the changes in version 16 is that the repair packs in drone ports now are available to be used for repairing things other than by drones which are roosted in that drone port. So before they sort of got lost, they ended up in in a drone port, and then the thing that needed repairing wasn't by that drone port, or wasn't going to be repaired by one of those drones, and they just sort of sat there. It was a big sink for items. So you ended up putting your repair packs in the logistics network, in the general network, and that you just end up making billions of the things as they got consumed and hidden. Apparently that's been fixed in version 16, so I look forward to seeing much improved repair. Anyway, hopefully that... Whoops. The other thing that's changed is how they deal with water transitions, so edges. When you're walking around edges, you get sort of redirected and bumped around them, sort of like you're sliding around corners now. It used to be very angular. You used to get sort of stuck on things, and it used to allow you to overhang the water. Now the overhang is on the land side rather than on the water side. Okay, so I think that boundary is probably okay now. Let's carry on driving down and see if our Skynet area has built out. And forgive me while I drive right through the middle of where some things should be put one day. I'm really not very good at driving, particularly in the dark. First thing I'm going to build once I'm ready is night vision. Okay, so back here. We have fusion reactors. Cargo capacity is a good thing. We need it right now. So what's built out here? So this we did by hand. Oh, that's great. That's another inserter. I think I'm going to manually get the drone making going. If I wasn't recording this, I would just allow this to run its course naturally, but since it's being recorded and I'm not running on accelerated time, I'm filling this in. So that's really there, that's really there. This machine is really here, so this should now start getting the things it needs to build a drone chassis. And once it's built a drone chassis, we should be able to build a drone. So let's see if we can find where a drone is. So where are the machines for making... Ah, there's one. So I think I might force the issue and make a logistics bot. There we are. It's really nice now that you can drop the items down over the top and have the recipe copied over. That's a definite improvement. Okay, I'm out of requester chests, and to make a requester... Oh, I can make a requester. There we are. Great. Okay, and that's out of drone range, but luckily I have a drone port pre-built, do I? Well, the easiest way to double check is to do a queue over... No, I don't. Okay, so to make another drone port, I need some gears and some advanced circuits. Where are the advanced circuits? There we are. Okay, I've got plenty of advanced circuits, so I need some gears now. And I'm pretty sure somewhere down here we make gears. There'll be some for the engines, I think. Yeah, there we are. Right, and let's just make a second one because I think at some point we'll end up needing a second one. Okay, there we are. Okay, so let's drop that down there, and then we definitely do have coverage of all the boxes here. Wonderful, that's being filled up. Let's add the provider chest, and I'm just going to manually add the inserter, check that that's there. I know it's kind of cheating, but again, if I was doing this off camera, Right now I would be setting up an outpost or something. I'd be letting this get on with doing its job, but seeing as we're doing this on a recording, it seems polite to help it along a bit just to get everything going. So I need one more tier 3 fab just for the for the steel boxes. You need the steel boxes to make the chests. Oh, it looks like I'm fabricating some tier 1 speed modules to make that happen. Anyway. Wow, they take forever to make. Oh, we've got a belt being made. Because I've now overlapped the construction area for this. Okay, I think I am going to nix the blueprint here because I don't want to waste my time making things that I can lay down again. Okay, this is all within maker range. And equally, I don't want to deconstruct things. I could have set a ghost filter, I guess, on the deconstruction blueprint, but life is short. Okay, so this is starting to get given some of the things it needs, and what it's missing is a chassis. Okay, and this is what's making the chassis. It's missing batteries and steel, apparently. There's a battery. Wonderful, so it just needs the steel, and then it's all ready to go. This just needs the fabricator, so let's put that in. Oh, brilliant. Okay, that's working. It's really tempting for me to make some more logistics bots, but that would be cheating. I've already cheated too much. I should let this stuff get on with working. Okay, so we've made ourselves a blue box, and the construction bot has picked it up and put it down. Thunderbirds are go, apparently. We are now bootstrapping up this site. I kind of now just want to sit on that construction bot and chase it around. Oh, that's made a new constructor. That's brilliant. What else is it doing? Oh, another constructor. Yep. Now it's going all the way up, so it's going to be grabbing a green inserter. So while we watch the paint dry here, let's have a quick tour around the base. So this plateau is still as it was before. It's rather annoyingly not clearable without lasers. I get periodic attacks here. The bugs are getting a lot bigger, and we're starting to get towards the point where I probably need to make these turrets a lot more closer together. But anyway, it's doing its job. This plateau is empty. Before the previous episode, I cleared this all out with turret creep. There's a coal area here, and the coal is supplying the plastic. And the plastic isn't really doing anything because, I'm not really making very much in the way of red circuits, to be honest. What else do we have? There's a plateau out here that's providing the coal for the power. Now, if we zoom in, this is starting to be depleted. So we're getting towards the point where I need to put in another 2 or 3 rows of miners to mine out more of this. I've been doing very scruffy mining up until now because there's so much water. The water tends to cut across what would have been quite big deposits. But now I have lots of landfill. So I'll probably go around just landfilling off these things to fit miners in. I've seen people do all sorts of crazy things with underground belts and all sorts, trying to get miners fitted around water. Life's too short. Just throw down landfill, fill in the gaps. Okay, What else? This area here, I have had no attacks. So let's see. The pollution is just touching here. Let's put it on again. Yeah, so it's just flicking in and out of there. But you know, then they don't seem to be taking umbrage at the moment. Then we've got the iron here. So this started off at 9.9, it's down to 9.0. So we've used up nearly 1 million iron. And I've got 3 trains servicing this now. There was an iron area here, that's now completely mined out, and I've retasked that train. I've left in the old defences because I'm still mindful that I might get overrun by accident at some point. Right, there's a little bit of iron here, 0.6, and there's a little bit of iron here, 0.3. That's not really usable. And that's where I'm at, really. Okay, so this is continuing to fill out. So let's just check. So we still have 2 logistics bots, and they're both working. To make a logistics bot, it needs circuits and frames. It's not made any frames. This is requiring batteries, steel, and so on. And okay, so here we are. This one's got batteries. Do we provide steel? Yes, we're definitely providing steel. And that's definitely in a provider chest. So it's just that the logistics bots haven't got around to it. Should we cheat? Yeah, let's cheat because life is short and bandwidth is expensive. Okay. So this requires green circuits now. I'm going to dump some green circuits in to here. Okay. And that's making, these take forever to make. Is it 20 seconds? I don't know, it seems like till the heat death of the universe. Great, so that then goes up into there. And there's no green inserter, I'm gonna manually provide that. There's a logistics bot. So in a minute, there should be a logistics bot that picks up the logistics bot. Let's see, we've got 2 of them here. Oh, that might be the one. That's picked it up. Oh, very nice. And it's put it in there. And there's no drone port to stick it into the network. So I happen to have made one. Let's put that down. Oh, it got put in. And it did something. Straight away went off to pick up some steel. So we now have 3 logistics bots, all of which are doing things. Oh, another logistics bot was made. And one in, and immediately came out and did a job. Wonderful. Oh, the stack bonus there meant it picked up several logistics bots. So how many do we have now? We have 6 logistics bots. Oh, well. I think we may have reached critical mass now. So what we're missing is construction bots. At the moment it's all logistics, but I think that will sort itself out because there'll be enough logistics now that it's filling in the requests. You can see they're actually doing things now. And at some point, the construction bot will accidentally build the construction bot area. So I've got 4 turrets engaged. They are these ones here. There we are. Okay, so this buffer box here has 284 rounds. They're always going to this corner. It's the one that's by the radar, but it's also by some water. bugs seem to run in fairly straight lines until they hit water and then run around the water and then hit the corners. It's unusual for them to hit the middle of walls in my experience. Okay, so what's that construction bot? Oh, it's picked up a red box. And put it down. Awesome. What's it going to do next? Yep, that was a short journey for blue to blue. And I've got a feeling it's now going to go off and get another stack inserter. Right, I think I'm going to throw in some more lights for those of you who are not night blind. There we are. So this area can now at least be seen. There's the construction bot putting in another fab, picking up a blue box. Okay, so this one here, this might be one of the ones which, where are we here? Let's drop this blueprint down again. Yeah, so that was going to make some beacons. And the one which we left intentionally blank was this one. And I think I may, maybe not. I think I may be rude and steal one of these and put it down. Was it there? Yeah, it was there. Okay, I'm going to put this down manually because this was for a type of logistics bot which didn't really exist before, the buffer chest. So let's put that in. And I'll need to put down a requester for it. Right. Let's give all these back because I don't want to cheat too much. And the steel chest making is waiting on a steel chest. Requester chest, I need green circuits and steel to make one of those. Let's grab that. Yeah, let's make a requester chest. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this in a cheaty way is because I need to set the request because it wasn't on the original blueprint. Oh my god! So it set the logistics request to 75 steel chest, 225 green, and 75 red. Apparently it's what's needed for 30 seconds of work. I think, for the sake of this, I'm going to dial this right back to 10 and 20 and 20, because otherwise this will just... Yeah, 10, 20, 20 is about right. Because otherwise this is just going to suck up all the available requests. And I don't have enough logistics bots to be able to service that level of request. Okay, so it's a bit more busy. So we're now up to 13 logistics, 14 logistics. I'm aware I cheated a bit. We've now got 3 chassis machines running. I'm looking around. Other than the tier 3 fabs, it looks like there isn't really a lot of backlog of product anywhere. I think everything's being used up pretty much as soon as it gets made. Although there aren't many end products yet being made. There's some chests, and that's about it. keep having this horrible feeling that I've forgotten one of the items that's needed here, that I've not provided a provider for something, but everything appears to be being made, so I think it's okay. I think it's just my background paranoia. Okay, construction coming in with another green inserter and going off for another one. It's because those green inserters are so far away that it's taking a while. I think I've got 5, so I can probably help it by doing some of them. Okay. Go from the bottom up, because at least then it's a shorter journey for when it gets them back. Okay, that can go in. That can go in. And that can go out. 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 That's all the stack inserters I happen to have. Okay, starting to look a bit more busy. We're up to 20 logistics bots, all fully working. The construction bot is just put down another inserter. It's now picking up a red box and putting it down. What is this magic? It's picked up a blue box and put that down. Oh, it nearly put it down, ran out of charge at the last minute. Wizardry. And another red box. Yep. This time it was a red box that allowed a product to be put out, which has to be win, doesn't it? And another blue box. These short journeys are definitely preferable over the long ones out to get the inserters. Oh, it's going to build a machine. Wonderful. Straight away, it's trying to make some drone ports. Okay. Ooh, I can hardly keep up. And off to get an inserter. So the thing I'm waiting for is when it puts the blue box on the construction bot machine so that we can start bootstrapping up the number of construction bots. Because the logistics bots are doing a good job. As I say, if I wasn't videoing this, I would now be off in some vehicle driving into the middle of nowhere to see what was going on in the wider world, but it's kind of fun to video it for once. This is the kind of thing where I just normally let it bootstrap up, but it's kind of fun to watch it happening. Look at that. We almost have a drone swarm now. It's like nearly a community of the things. We're up to 38 drones, 38 logistics drones. And the construction bot is missing in action. Where is he? Oh, going over, presumably to get another stack inserter. We can't need many more other things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think maybe we only need 5 or 6 more stack inserters running up and down, and then we're done. I've kind of set myself a rule now that I'm not allowed to put down that final box for the construction bots for no reason whatsoever. Here we are. So how, is it going to do it? Is it? No, it's red. Okay, and off. Oh. I'm using my grown-up words now in my head. Well, at least we seem to have lots of the drone chassis makers working now, so the logistics bots are being made at a sensible rate. Let's see where that construction bot's got to. It's the only one that ever comes from up north. Ah, it's coming back now with an inserter. Because the worker robot speed is so slow, they seem to spend their entire life recharging, which is sad. Okay, it's going to make another machine. No! It's off. Oh, it's just toying with me now. Okay, and in the meantime, we're making more and more logistics. What are we up to? So we're up to 59 logistics, of which 0 are free, and 1 construction bot. Oh, 65 logistics, 0 free, 1 construction bot. None free. So we're... Oh, Logi the logistics is doing their job, and Connie construction... Here she comes. That's the last one, or the second to the last one. It's nearly enough. Blue. Oh, come on. Stop messing with me. Nope. What are you going to get? That's red. Come on. Another red. Another red. Ah, it's going up for an inserter. Okay, we're up to 93 logistics now. That it's really snowballing now that there's enough logistics bots to start feeding these chests. And I should probably look at power, because this is normally the point at which I crash everything. All right, production, 50, yeah, it's not happy. It's, production is about 9/10 of what's available. So I think we are at the point where I need to put in a second power system. So we've got our first one up here. Let's run over. Oh, hang on. I think we just got our request chest for the construction. Yeah, when I wasn't looking. Oh, that's awesome. So we now have a construction bot. No way. And that's going into construction, and it's come out to build things. We have 4 construction bots constructing. This is like heaven. Well, there's no way back from this. And 2 of the construction bots aren't doing anything. 3 of 7 aren't doing anything. Okay, so we are very nearly in Bot-topia. The singularity has almost arrived. We've just got a few more things to build here. I think I might watch them build. Yeah, nothing down this end needs to build anymore. We've just got a swarm of components and 3 or 4 machines left to place. Right, a long distance inserter. I back off to get another inserter, but it doesn't matter anymore because we have 20 construction bots. Well, there we are. That's just crazy. Oh, worker robot cargo size 3 finished. Let's do another one of these guys. I think I'm still using bus-based stuff on the rest of the site, so I'm going to do inserter capacity because that's a really useful one. Okay, so why do we not have... we're out of green machines, and the reason for that is we are out of speed modules. Oh, something got placed down. Must have been an inserter. And why are we out of speed modules? Because we're out of circuits. So the speed module is just being consumed during research, I'm guessing. Let's go down and double check. Yeah. So they're not making it very far up here because they're just getting eaten by the gold science. And why do we not have many? Because we don't have many red circuits. So the red is the bottleneck. And why do we not have red circuits? Let's go up and see. So red, this is the red making area. And the issue is that the copper is running out. Okay. And why is the copper running out? So the copper here is full. We're taking out nearly a full line of yellow to make green circuits. Then we are taking out... it's because this is all yellow belt. So it's failing to fill a red line because we've got yellow here. So I think I need to put in a bunch of red here. Okay, and may as well take it down to the next red thing. This definitely needs to be red here because this is the feed into the red circuit, so we need that to be running at proper speed. Okay, is that helping? Yeah, so now the copper's getting all the way to the end. Now this is working at the moment because we've got 4 lanes of copper feeding into 2 lanes worth of red, so it's a doubling up, but it will fall over soon. So I'm just going to upgrade this. As much as I love the overwrite that's been added in 0.16, when you're trying to upgrade your bus, it's actually a pain. Because if you just run up and down your bus with red belts in your hand, you end up stamping all over the top of your splitters and other gubbins, and then that's the end of your nicely designed belts. Okay, here we are. Sorry. It took all my thought to run up and down the belt. I couldn't talk as well. Okay, so I think everything there is red. There's no obvious stuttering where there's a yellow feeding in. Yeah, so there we are. There's no need to upgrade that yet. And this is now running all the way to the end. So very soon something other than the copper will be the bottleneck. Right, that's that. However, how's it looking now? Okay, so we've got plenty of reds going into our blue circuit maker. There are some reds coming down now. Admittedly, I prefer there to be a lot more. Okay. I think this is gold science, isn't it? So I think if I set off a research which is not gold, then that will give a chance for those to back up. So I think I'm going to do... which one? Oh, mining. Always good. Particularly given that my map has almost no resources on it, I think mining research is a good plan. Okay, so where am I up to? So I now have 123 logistics, 76 of which are idle. Construction, 53 idle, because I'm waiting on tier 1 speed modules to fill in the remaining machines. But the remaining machines are drone chassis. So it's not actually an issue of you got to make things, it's just a throughput issue. So I think here I'm going to leave it. I think that's enough for today. So this is our first bit of the drone maker area. The next bit of drone maker area I'm going to drop in is a tier 3 module maker. Let's see if I've got it in my blueprint book. Where are we? Oh yeah, the one that's not the one. Okay, this book has it. So I've got that's the one. So this is a design I've used before, which builds all of the tier 3 modules. And the nice thing about it is that it's controlled through a circuit network, so that when it's finished making them, that particular maker shuts down. The other nice thing about it is everything is module and beaconed, and as long as you dump the things you are building into chests which are available to construction bots, the areas will build and upgrade themselves as they're going. So that's kind of cute, really. So I think that's the next thing I'm going to lay down. I need tier 3 modules for a variety of things, but most importantly I need it for the top level suit. And it's the top level suit which really lets you start building things. It lets you, for example, build your rail network with a construction size big enough to actually lay down 2 large poles worth of rails at a time. So that's probably what I'm going to do next, but I'll do that off screen. I'll just lay it down now, but the actual fabrication of this I'll allow to happen off screen. Wow, there's already things happening. It's amazing. It's almost like these things have a mind of their own. You can see I've used various concrete decorations here. I will set up a concrete maker. We've got water here, so I'll run in the necessary raw materials. And then once I've got speed modules being made, I'm actually, I know I said earlier that I wasn't going to make rocket parts here, but I'm actually tempted to make rocket parts here, particularly given that even with the exploration I've done, I've not found anything out in the world. So yeah, I think maybe this is my chance to launch a rocket. Anyway, thank you very much. This was an extraordinarily long episode because we were watching something boot up in glacial time, but it does kind of show if you set up a blueprint and it's thought through slightly carefully, you could just stamp it down, supply it with basic materials, and it will build itself out. Right, well, thank you very much for watching. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.